Hey, Mrparka here to review a new disc that was released March 31st. This is kind of a big deal because Arrow, the British company that's established in the UK, releases DVDs and Blu-rays of a lot of cult titles. Most that get releases over here, some do not. Some are crossover titles, so sometimes we'll see a different edition of, like, let's say, City of Living Dead on Blu-ray, and there's one here. The cover arts are usually really damn awesome, and they're usually loaded with special features. People can argue which transfers they like better. Sometimes it's the United States Blue Underground or Synapse, and sometimes people prefer the Arrow. Regardless, Arrow is without a doubt one of the premier releasing companies around in cult items. And starting this month, they will start to release, the American films. Or they have their companies start to release films in America. Some where they have the rights to in America, of course. They're not going to be able to release some of the stuff that they don't have the rights, the United States rights. But starting, we'll actually get to see some real cool titles. Some that I've never seen on Blu-ray, some that I've never seen on DVD, especially in the States here. The first title I'll be reviewing is Day of Anger, which is a spaghetti western. They sent them in this to review. A spaghetti western that I was not very familiar with. It has Lee Van Cleef in it from obviously The Good, the Bad, and Ugly, and Escape from New York. And I must say that I was fairly impressed with the film. There's 3 different versions you can watch. You can watch the international with Italian language and English subtitles. You can watch international English version, and you can watch the shorter version. Well, regardless, I chose to watch it in English with the English subtitles so I could see the different translation marks and things like that, how they were going to do it. And yeah, you can tell the subtitles are different from what they're saying, and I think that the Italian version with the American subtitles is probably really the way to go if you want to get a proper translation. Regardless, the film runs about 2 hours long. And although you would think this is going to be kind of a long deal, but a lot of spaghetti westerns have this epic feel to them, and they're shot so wonderfully, and the musical scores are always great. I believe Riz Ortolani did the musical score in this one. That's who I believe did it. He's famous for Brutes and Savages, Cannibal Holocaust, House on the Edge of the Park, so many movies, and his scores are always phenomenal. In fact, I believe that most Italian scores are phenomenal, and I think that spaghetti westerns are usually shot brilliantly and beautifully, and this one is no different. I've yet to come in contact with a spaghetti western that I thought was actually abysmal. Usually they're all at least very, very appealing aesthetically, and this one is no different. It follows the story of a guy who's kind of the laughing stock of the town. He's a bastard. He is what the town calls him and everything like that. He has nobody. He doesn't know who his father was. He was born of a prostitute. So he's treated poorly by nearly everybody in the town. In comes this kind of gunslinger played by Cleef, and he takes him under his wing and he starts to teach him all these lessons. And eventually this leads to lots of action. This movie pretty much doesn't stop the non-stop killing, but it leads to a showdown at the end between this guy's kind of coming of age story to be his own man, but also pits an old idol of his against a new one, or sort of somebody he feels he owes to, kind of 2 father figures, maybe one so good and one kind of evil type deal, and yeah, it's a really entertaining, well-made film, and it gets emotional towards the end. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, non-stop action, very unrealistic, but most spaghetti westerns are, to be honest, and yeah, I really enjoyed this film. There's special features, interview with the director, interview with some of the actors in here, maybe a producer. I did watch it with the director, and he seemed to remember the film, but he seemed really kind of short almost, but very, I guess he knew quite a bit about it. It seemed to know quite a bit. It's about a 10-minute interview. I believe it was shot a few years back. But yeah, this is a really good film, and I can't wait to pick up the actual Blu-ray when it's released. It should be a good package. Like I said, that sometimes some people believe the Arrow releases they're not a big fan of some prints. They argue which one they like better, but that could also be which one is more appealing to you, which one has more features, things like that. There's all sorts of differences. Like There's some releases I picked up I loved, others I thought could have been better, but that's with every company I've ever seen. But this one, Day of the Anger, I really enjoyed. I thought it looked great. I thought it was a really well-made movie, and I'd really recommend it, especially for fans of spaghetti westerns, because you know, this is probably one of the better ones I've seen. But like I said, I've never seen one that I thought was crap. I think they're all pretty good, and I think this one lived up to my expectation, and really, really good film with some pretty memorable lines. But I would probably recommend watching it. Maybe you could try what I did with the. It might be distracting to some people to see what the. I know I watched films like Baby Blood like that with the English dub and also English subtitles at the same time, so I could see how they do the dubs and the translations incorrectly when they dub films. But with the English subtitles, there's a lot more I guess gratuitous language. They call him a bastard more, and there is different meanings here and there. They're not 100% dubbed perfectly, of course, but you know how that works. They can't dub your mouth. They don't want the auto sync too bad. But regardless, Day of Anger, check it out. Enjoyable. I will be looking into Arrow's other future releases as well in the United States and other films. Take care. Have a good one.